letters are a very important part of everyday life. There are many times when it is appropriate to write a formal letter. For example, when you are applying for a job, making a complaint, or requesting information.
Well, recently I was on holidays and the accommodation was below standard, so I wrote a formal letter of complaint to the travel company.
Well, anytime I apply for a job, I would write a formal letter really because it creates a good impression.
Recently I had a really bad experience with an airline and my flight was really badly delayed, so I got no refund or anything, and the customer service was really bad, and I felt that was the time when I really needed to write the formal letter.
One of the most important things to remember when writing a formal letter is to plan properly. Formal letters are generally short, 1 page at most, so you don't have to use big words or complicated long-winded sentences. Keep your language simple and to the point. While it is important to be polite, it is also important to not be too familiar. So don't start with, "I hope you are well," or anything like that. And also, don't take shortcuts. Write "I would" instead of "I'd." It is good practice to work separately on a separate piece of paper and work out exactly what you are going to say. Start by writing roughly and gradually expanding on it until you know exactly what you are going to write. It is also good practice to use a pencil and eraser for this. Formal letters are normally arranged into paragraphs. Each paragraph has a purpose. Most letters have 3 or 4 paragraphs. The first paragraph should be short and explain the reason for the letter. For example, your paragraph could start with,
"I wish to complain about the service at your restaurant last night."
or
I wish to inquire about the evening courses you are running in September.
the middle paragraphs usually give the details of the letter. Again, keep it short and to the point. Be logical so that the person reading the letter can easily understand it. For example, if you are complaining about a service, it may read,
"A good friend of mine recommended your restaurant, and so I decided to bring a number of friends."
or if you are inquiring about a course, you could say,
I have an interest in art and would be keen to take part in the class.
the last paragraph should tell the person reading the letter what you want them to do. So with the complaint, you could have something like,
"I would be grateful if you would reply as soon as possible so that this matter can be resolved to everyone's satisfaction."
or with the evening course inquiry,
I would be grateful if you could send me a copy of your prospectus so that I can further read up on the courses on offer.
If you are handwriting the letter, always use either blue or black ink. It is also important to make sure your writing is as neat as you can make it. If you're using unlined notepaper, use lined paper underneath so you can see them through the paper. A lined sheet like this often comes with packets of unlined writing paper. Now that you know how to write a letter, let's take a look at how to structure it. Firstly, your address goes at the top right-hand side of the letter. The address of the person to whom you are writing goes a bit lower than the top of your address on the left-hand side of the page. Date is probably best written long format, 10th of November 2006, and goes below the address at the left side of the page. The salutation goes on the left below the date. If you are writing to a man, you write "Dear Mr." followed by surname. If you are writing to a lady, you write "Dear Ms." followed by her surname. And if you do not know the person, you write "Dear Sir" or "Madam." And now you are ready to write in the text that you've planned carefully, making sure to leave a blank line between each paragraph. When signing off, if you know the person, you put "Yours sincerely." If you don't know the person, you write "Yours faithfully," although this isn't too important. Follow this with a comma and then put your signature here. If your writing is hard to read, you can put a printed version of your signature underneath. So now you are ready to post your letter, but not before you put it in an envelope. Firstly, put the recipient's name and address in large writing in the middle. You usually have 1 piece of information per line. For example, the Mermaid Restaurant, Main Street, Kinsale, County Cork. There are no commas needed after each line, and make sure to write and print so that the postman can easily read it. Put your own name and address in the top left-hand corner in small writing, and put your stamp on the top right corner. And now all you need to do is post your letter.